we got light! Yay! Okay, finally, let's get started. So I'm going to be mixing the Bourjois Healthy Skin Serum Foundation with the L'Oreal True Match. I love the consistency that they have together. It's really, really nice. So I'm just going to mix a little cocktail of that on the back of my hand. And I already moisturized my skin, and I used the Josie Maron Daily Argan moisturizer, and it does have an SPF of 47 in it, so it's really, really nice. And it's thick enough to cover my horrible dry patches I have going on right now. My skin is so dry. So that's why I'm using such a luminous foundation, because I need any hydration I can get. And I'm just using a Sigma. This is a F80 flat top kabuki brush to really just press this into my skin. And you want to make sure you get your neck because we don't want any lines. And I do have, in my T-zone is my problem area where foundation tends to leave me. So I do go over that a few times just to really make sure I have the coverage that I need. Alright. I hate the feeling of foundation on my lips. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to conceal, but I don't want my concealer to be like extremely light. So I'm going to be mixing two Urban Decay Naked Skin Weightless concealers together, and one is in the shade, I'm going to start with the shade Light Neutral, which is this one, and I'm going to be like really packing this one on. And I'm going to do my forehead, down the center of my nose, and I'm going to do around my mouth because with hormones, as women, we tend to get redness around that area. So I'm just going to put some concealers there as well. Then I'm going to go in with the second shade, and I'm going to place this just like one stroke, a dot, a dot, a dot down there. So I just wet my beauty blender and I just wring it out in a towel really quick, and I'm going to blend all of this concealer business out. I do press it on my eye area because this will help us prime for eyeshadow later. I have no method to my madness, just blending it all out, making sure all the dark circles are covered, blending out our highlight around our mouth area and our upper lip. And now I'm going to set all of this. So I'm going to be taking and I make sure you want to tap from the outside to the inner corner to make sure that all of the creases are tapped out. Now I'm going to be taking MAC Pro Shaping Powder in the shade Emphasize and Anastasia Banana Powder, and I'm using a Sigma E35, and I'm just going to blend these two together and really pack that on underneath that and set that. I do set my eyelid as well. And we're going to mix them and do the other side. And you want to make sure that when you're setting your concealer, you're patting with the brush, not rubbing, or you're going to rub the product away. Tap, tap. And then once you have one layer down, that's when you can go in and rub. But initially, you want to pat first. Okay. Now I'm going to move on to our eyebrows. So I'm going to be using the Anastasia Beverly Hills. This is her new brow definer. I'm still getting used to it. I don't know how I feel about it. I like it, but I might, whoops, I might like her brow is better but I'm still giving it a chance. From my moisturizer, I do like to kind of take my towel and just wipe off my brows so that they're not like greasy or anything. Whoops. What is that? Okay, so now I'm going to be going in and I'm going to start from like the halfway point, and that's where I like to start, and I like to really fill in the outer tail. Okay, and then I just flick up as I come into my inner corner. So I'll do that on the other side as well. So I start halfway and really fill in the outer tail. And sometimes with the brow wiz you have to press really, really hard. With this you don't have to press as hard. It applies a lot smoother and creamier, which sometimes I like and sometimes I don't like. And now I just flick upward. I turn it sideways and I just flick, 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 flick. And I go in with this spoolie and I really comb them out. As much as I can. Same thing on the other side. Really comb them out. Now I'm going to be going in with a NYX concealer, and it's in a pot, and I'm just taking like a flat synthetic brush to just clean up my brows. This is an extra step you don't have to take, but with this particular brow product, I feel like I have to, so maybe the brow wiz is better for me personally. Now I'm going to clean up this one. If you guys use these products, let me know if you're feeling the same thoughts that I am. Okay, now that that's done, I'm going to just take my beauty blender and pat out my forehead and pat out that concealer with my beauty blender. It just is easy instead of grabbing a brush. So next we're going to do our eyes. This is so simple. This is so great for Valentine's Day because you want to spend time with your significant other. You don't want to take so much time getting ready. So, but you still want to look pretty. So I'm going to take a Sigma E40 tapered blending brush, and I'm going to grab the shade by Makeup Geek. It's called Peach Smoothie, and it looks like this. It's very peachy. It's light. It's a really pretty shade. It brings a lot of warmth to the eye, but it will look complementary to every eye color and every skin tone. But if you have darker skin than me or lighter skin than me, you could grab anything that works for your skin. You want to just grab a transition shade. So I'm just placing this pretty high up in my crease, low in my crease, on my lid. I'm just kind of dusting this everywhere. Kind of just setting all of that product that we already placed, like our concealer and everything. I'm not taking it all the way to my brow bone. So I'm just dusting all of this back and forth. And I'm going to grab the MAC Emphasize powder, and I'm just going to set that concealer up here so that none of our darker shades grab to it. Okay, I am all over the place today, guys. Is called Hipster. It is also by Makeup Geek. And I'm grabbing a Sigma E25 blending brush, and I'm just placing this in our crease, right in our very low crease, and I will turn my brush sideways to like start to blend it upward, but I just place it right in there. And just blend in windshield wiper motions back and forth. And I do dust off some of the product, and I go back, and that's when I'll start to blend higher when I have less product on my brush. And then I will go back in with the E40, and I will just dust that out. And I'm going to go back with a little bit more hipster. And I'm using a really, really light hand. And a tip, if you get too heavy-handed and struggle with that, hold the brush at the end, and that will help you apply a lighter amount. But I'm pretty good with adjusting how hard I'm pressing by holding it closer. But that is just a little tip. Okay, so now I'm going to just grab the E40 again, blend, blend. Then I'm going to take my favorite shadow of life, and it is by MAC, and it is MAC Nylon Eyeshadow, and I'm using my finger for this part, so I'm just dipping my finger right in the product and applying it right to my lid. Now the same thing on the other eye. Now I'm going to take the E25, dust off any excess product, or grab a clean brush. And I'm just going to make sure that's all blended out. I am going to go back with a little bit more hipster. And hipster does have a little bit of a sheen to it, so it's not a flat eye. And I feel like they complement each other very well. And I am going to go back with the E40 and just blend. Brush will work for this part. But I'm using Ice Queen by Makeup Geek and an Urban Decay synthetic brush. It came in like their Naked palette, I think. I'm really highlighting here. And then we will blend out that harsh line. And I'm also going to take this on my inner corner. Studio Chromographic Pencil in NC15 and NW20. It's /NW20. It stays on my waterline the longest versus other brands that I've tried, but use what works for you. I do not recommend using like a stark white. Use something that's more of a cream shade. And I'm going to apply this in my water. Okay, so now I'm going to Now I'm going to grab some mascara and I'm just going to coat my top lashes with some mascara. And if you don't want to apply false lashes, it's totally okay. You can just apply some mascara. But I felt like since we were doing such a simple look, why not take the extra step for some lashes? And I know some people get really discouraged with applying lashes, but don't. It just takes some time and practice and you'll definitely get the hang of it. But I'm going to go in with an e.l.f. blush brush and the Hourglass Ambient Bronzing powder. And I'm just going to be bronzing my cheeks here. If you can hear that dog outside, we give him bones and he loves them. So he always barks at us when we come home. So I'm just bronzing up my face here. And don't forget about your neck. You always want to have some color on your neck and your chest as well. So now I'm going to apply some blush. And I'm going to be taking I just bought this e.l.f. angled blush brush. So I'm going to try it for the first time. And I'm going to grab Honeymoon by Makeup Geek. Has a little bit of some shimmer in it. Really pretty blush. And then I'm going to highlight my face, and I will be using the Becca Champagne Glow palette, and I'll be using Pearl, which is this one. And I'm using a Morphe M501. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some MAC Fix Plus and just dampen my brush just a tad and then dip it into Pearl. It was being a little powdery, so I wanted my highlight to really be pigmented. Now I'm just going to use my finger and apply some right on my Cupid's bow, and then apply to my nose and my forehead. And if you have oily skin, I don't recommend highlighting all these places. I would just mainly focus on your cheekbones and maybe your Cupid's bow. But if you tend to get oily throughout your T-zone, I would skip highlighting your nose and your forehead. And that goes for anyone that just, by the end of the day, your makeup starts to break off. You don't want to accentuate any of that. You just highlight what works for you. So next we are going to apply some lashes, and I'm using House of Lashes in the style Siren. These are my favorite lashes ever. But I bought the House of Lashes lash adhesive in the black shade, and I really like it, but for an eye look like this I really wouldn't want to use a black glue. So I also purchased the House of Lashes lash adhesive in the white shade, which is supposed to dry clear. So that's what I'm going to be using today. So it's really nice because this comes in like a little wand and you can just swipe it across the lash. And I'm going to let that dry for a second and apply. And I like to use tweezers. And really squeeze those lashes together. Now I'm going to do the other eye. I just want to make sure there's no spaces between those lashes and my natural. Now I'm going to be applying some mascara to my lower lashes, and I really like doing this, especially when you have top lashes applied. It just makes everything come together. I'm going to be using ColourPop Lippy Stick in the shade Cupid. How appropriate. So I'm going to be using two foundations today.